think you should.
Welcome back to this week's episode of Whoscussion. For part B, we're going to be covering Immortal Beloved, again, the next adventure in season 26B with the 8th Doctor and Lucy Bleedin Miller, and finishing off with Sound the Siren and I'll Come to You, Comrade. Okay, so Immortal Beloved has a couple about to, action a suicide pact, because they love each other oh so much. The Doctor lands the TARDIS. Like, is this a sign from the gods? And as soon as the Doctor and Lucy walk out, he's like, oh, well, I guess we must be closer than 1974. Turns out that they're not any closer to getting Lucy home. They're on a completely different planet. Yeah. It's funny that the Doctor's still trying that. He's like, I can get you home. Like, dude, the High Council of Gallifrey is stopping you from getting there. Yeah. Like, I don't see you getting her back to her own time period anytime soon. Lucy talks them out of their suicide pact, and the Doctor's like, yeah, that's not the greatest idea. Then they're talking about gods, they're talking about the Greek gods, and they see, or the Doctor sees in the distance a helicopter coming, and they're like, oh no, the chariots of the gods are coming. I was like, I think you mean a helicopter. And I no, the chariots of the gods. He's like, what is going on here?
Fully trust what's going on.
Ares, the god of war, hops out of the chariot of the gods, and the Doctor is like, hey, all right, we need to calm down. We need to talk this through like adults. And then the young fella, what the heck was his name again? Sarati, was it? No, Culkin. So Culkin, the young lover, decides to go ahead and kill the young Ares, or the young Taden. He kills Ares. And then I was like, what the hell did you do that for? He's like, that was really, really dumb. Give me that gun right now. They get taken back to the Palace of the Gods. And they get put into, was it the Chamber of Healing or Sanctuary? And it was like, I think you mean Decontamination Chamber. Like, the Chamber of Sanctuaries. It looks like, nope, that is not what that's called. While they're on the other side, they can't hear the Doctor, and Zeus, quotation marks, comes up to the Doctor and goes, I'm Lord Zeus. And the Doctor's like, cut the bull crap. You're not Zeus. Zeus isn't real. Who are you? And he's like, oh, I'm the leader of this place. He's like, okay, so did you get everybody to call you Zeus so you could control them with an iron fist? And he's like, sort of, I suppose. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, I'm really not okay with that. And so Zeus is like, well, you can't really do anything about it because my peoples believe in it and that's just how we roll. And then I was like, alright, whatever. I'm just going to go. And they decide to spend the night, and over the night, Zeus tries to hit on Lucy.
Yeah.
And the Doctor climbs in and is like, hey, can you not try and have sex with my companion, please? And Lord Zeus is like, hey, what are you doing here? He's like, well, I was having a good time, and then I found that all the doors were locked. And then I wasn't having a good time anymore. So I came to check on Lucy, and here you are, literally trying to have sex with my companion. He's like, Doctor, I'm going to clone Lucy, and I'll have sex with hundreds of Lucys. He's like, yeah, I'm going to bring you down now.
That's not happening.
No, that's not happening. So the Doctor finds out that the two young lovers are actually clones of Hera and Zeus, quotation marks again. Hera is great. She's just like fed up with everybody's bullcrap. It's fantastic. Her performance is so just oozing with charisma. It's just like a lack of giving any craps in the whole world. She reminds me of the portrayal of Hera in God of War 3, in which she's just sort of drunk and fed up with everything.
Yeah.
And Ares who was dying, has had his body transferred over to his mind transferred over to the body of Taden, who turned out to be a clone of Ares. So they're in a castle full of clones. Lucy's like, we need to put an end to this. Doctor's like, well, yeah, right, I'll give it a go. So Hera has a heart attack, and she's meant to have her mind transferred into the body of her clone, who is Sarati, who's in love with Kalkin. And when her mind gets transferred over, she goes, oh, my dear Zeus, how I love you so much. Give me a knife so I can kill Hera. And so everybody gives her a knife, and she's meant to kill the old body of Hera. But then the old Hera dies. And Zeus is like, oh, look, you don't even have to do that anymore, my love. She died. And she's like, well, the knife wasn't even for Hera. That's for you! Turns out Sarati didn't have her mind wiped, and she stabs the crap out of Zeus. And the Doctor's just like, man, I didn't even have to save these people. They saved themselves.
He's more like, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, he really didn't see that coming. And so he was like, all right, well, yeah, I'm going to go. And so... the Doctor, as the Doctor's gonna go, Lucy takes Sarati, and is all like, "Hey, let's go, let's crash this TARDIS so they stop making clones, because they're meant to be using the TARDIS to go off world to get parts to repair the cloning machine." And they hold the Doc. Oh, sorry, what was that?
It was they were getting parts for the mind transfer.
Oh, for the mind transference machine.
Yes.
And so Zeus, in his dying breaths, is like, hey, you need to transfer my brain over to Kalkin's body. And the Doctor's like, oh yeah, I'm 100% not doing that. He's like, yeah, if you don't, I'm gonna get these people to clone Lucy and then torture all of Lucy's clones.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's that. And so the Doctor's like, oh my god, why is it with everybody's bullcrap? So he's like, alright, cool, I'll do it. And they change the minds over. It doesn't actually happen. And Kalka's like, cheers, bro, Doctor. And Doctor's like, yeah, I'm just done with this place. And so everybody thinks Zeus is transferred over, and he's like, sweet, Lucy, let's go. And Lucy's like, I'm not going with you. You can't believe you did it. You put Zeus back in power. And the Doctor's like, shut up, I didn't. I actually didn't. Yeah. I want everybody to believe Zeus is still alive. But Sarati, he's not Zeus. So hurry up and go and have a cool time with him. And she's all like, and he's like, oh, she's like, oh, hey, but, you know, we'll grow old. And he's like, yeah, it's pretty great. Immortality is a curse. And then he and then he turns at the camera and winks. Like, I know it's an audio story, but it's fully what happens.
Yeah. Well, no, Lucy says, hey, but what about you? And he's just like, I'm a special case.
It's like, I'm a special case. And then they leave. So it's really short, and I've found that with all of Lucy's stories, because they're in the 45-minute format. Yeah. And they just sort of cut to the chase. And I think that's... I love Charlie's adventures, but I kind of like that a lot of the fat's trimmed here.
Yeah.
And it just gets straight to the point. The Doctor's just fed up with everybody's bullcrap. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I like them. The mind transference machine is kind of a point to the good old what happened to Perry.
Yeah. We don't plan this, guys. By the way, it just happens.
No, it just happened.
It just happened. But yeah, it is very reminiscent of Crozier's device.
Yeah, it's funny that the Time Lords were
they killed Perry to stop the device from taking shape,
from being used and stuff. But they don't show up to stop humans from just casually just doing it for a while now. They've been doing it.
I wonder if that's why the Doctor.
They wait until the Doctor shows up. They wait until the Doctor shows up to use him to fix it. Like, really, guys?
Because
especially after what you had happen.
Yeah, with 6A, they're like, hey, man, because a lot of what's happening with the Doctor is like because the Time Lords are essentially in control of his TARDIS at this point through Lucy. And so, yeah, they're like, hey, we need you to go clean some stuff up. And it's like, oh, I hate working for you guys. I really, really hate it.
Exactly.
I love when in their first story in Blood of the Daleks, when he's just screaming at the sky. I know you assholes can hear me. Just take her away. It's this, imagine like the crazy tinfoil hat person seeing him do it. It's like, oh my gosh, even the aliens are crazier than me. But again, a lot of the fat's trimmed. I think this is a good listen. It's funny that it's Ian McNeice playing Zeus because he'd later on play Winston Churchill. But Doctor Who does that. Britain in general does that.
Yeah, they do.
Like Blake Seven, the amount of times an actor was a different character, or Z Cars, or even The Avengers, the original British TV series. Oh my god. Yeah. The amount of times Diana, no, not Diana Riggs, Annika Wills was like random different people in that. That was fantastic. It's like, hey, you're Polly in Doctor Who. You need to be in this show now as different people.
Everything.
I don't know. It's fantastic. Immortal Beloved, like all the other Lucy Miller stories, is relatively cheap on Big Finish if you're looking to pick it up digitally, which is pretty much the way I get my Big Finish. You can then carry it around on the app, which you can save for later on. It's really good for commutes. If I suppose a lot of people commute on public transport these days to and from work or school. It's a really, really good way to kill the time. And it's fantastic British performers giving you a lovely soundscape. Harry's what are your thoughts on Immortal Beloved before we go into our last story? Anything niggling at your mind there?
It was definitely short and sweet. I like the idea that that some people land on a planet and then try to using basically an immortality engine, basically. They just copy themselves over and over again. Decide that because they're like, let's just call ourselves godly names. Yeah. I love that dynamic that they had, where like the consistent couple element that was there. They called themselves Zeus and Hera, and Zeus embodied that so much that he was totally just going to bang anything he could get his hands on as well. Yeah, it's like perfect. You're Zeus. You're utterly Zeus. Fantastic.
Yeah. Fantastic. You're actually living up to your caricature.
Yeah, and Hera was also just like not really keen on anything, and like confided in Ares. It's like, this is planned, but I love it.
The dynamic between the quotation marks gods is really great. And I love how like the younger clone of Kalkin was like, I can't believe you've destroyed everything. Wasn't named Ganymede, who's actually played by Jake McGann, Paul McGann's son.
Yes.
Which is great because Jake McGann will actually later on play Alex Campbell, which is going to be fantastic. But yeah, I think the world was really well developed, and we got a lot of information without it feeling like exposition in a 45-minute format.
Yeah.
With the audio, it's a lot easier. Like, I know we harp on Doctor Who, like New Who quite a bit, but I, in this case, it's something that can only happen in an audio format.
Pretty much.
Like the story I'd love to see animated. Like, I would love to see all of Big Finish animated. But again, if it was like live action, I don't think the story would work as well as it does. And like the Eighth Doctor's sort of like, I'm so over everyone's crap attitude with his Lucy run is great. I love the attitude like the Eighth Doctor's got. This whole Lucy run, he's just like, things are happening and I don't even care anymore. Like, he's in Izzy's short trip.
Just the entire time. Yeah.
Doctor, let's go get this limited edition comic. Really? I've got a time and space. Oh, fine. All right.
I don't care.
I don't care. Doctor, this guy's evil. So? No.
No, I don't care.
I don't care.
I'm just done.
I'm over it. I'm going to go back
to
your
adventure.
Yeah, we're going to finish your adventure.
Just finish your adventure, Morty. Let's get out of here.
Let's go, Morty. Come on. Yeah, 18 Izzy are totally like the Rick and Morty of the Whoniverse.
Yeah.
Because their adventures are so pop culture heavy. Well, with that, guys, we're going to go into our last story. Sound the siren, and I'll come to you, comrade. Harry's going to take us away.
Also known as what's his name from the Justice League? Star? Is it Red Star? Anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
It totally is.
Yeah.
Is it a Red Star? It is Red Star. Is the radioactive Superman in Justice League?
Or Red Sun Superman. Oh, no, yeah, no, Red Star, yeah. Yes, Red Sun, but like Sun S-O-N.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Leela and the Fourth Doctor, voiced by someone who sounds impeccably.
Yeah, right? It's so good.
Like I didn't realize that it wasn't the Fourth Doctor until I read that it was read by somebody else. So I was like, what? So yeah, he's just immaculate. If you want to like, for some reason, I don't know why, you just want to hear the Doctor's voice and you can't, for some reason, watch a Fourth Doctor story, just listen to this and you'll hear it. You'll hear it perfectly. So yeah, they land in Soviet Russia, in the middle of the Soviet Union during their attempts to create the nuclear bomb. Yeah. So they're trying to test out the destructive nature of the nuclear bomb, and they've got some interesting things going on, basically. So when they get there, they're greeted by the Soviet military, of course, because they are wearing white as a blue box, just casually in the middle of their testing grounds, as you would. And they basically go over what's happening. The doctor knows where he is at the moment, because he instantly picks up on the fact that they're in the radioactive wastelands, and that there's radiation going on. So he instantly knows what's going on. They're like, "Hey, what are you doing here?" I just do that, guys. Just let me.
I'm Tom Baker. I'm in the Doctor. I do that.
Yeah. So he gets them to take them to their leader, basically. They seem surprisingly alright with the fact that just an alien has shown up as well, because he casually offhands tells them that he's an alien at the same time. It's pretty great.
Russians like, we know all about the aliens.
Yeah, Russians are just a different breed, I guess. But yeah, so he meets up with the scientists and engaged in the nuclear for at least the general and people in charge. There's a lot of like talking about the morality behind having a nuclear bomb and stuff, because that's that's obviously the point to this, really. So the Doctor tries half-heartedly, of course, to talk the Russians out of building a nuclear bomb. He knows that they have to build one anyway, so he doesn't really try too hard, but he tries to take a moral high ground. He's like
sort of along for the ride in this one.
Yeah, he really is. But it turns out that there is some sort of creature that is following them. At least has been around for a little bit, and there's like they talk about some like folklore of the area and stuff about it, like a creature that lives in the woods, and people feel the presence of more than their entire squad when they're walking around, all that sort of jazz.
Yeah.
So
it reminds me of the Russian folk tale of Orbaba, the old lady who flies around in a cauldron.
Maybe. I don't think exactly like that.
No. It's not exactly the same, but it reminds me of that.
It is. But yeah, basically, it turns out that it's a parasite of some kind that feeds on nuclear radiation. But it doesn't really necessarily have to be a parasite. Just could be anything that feeds on energy radiation anyway. But it is capable of inhabiting human bodies, because it does appear to do that to gain its form. As up until that point, at least based on the folklore, it seemed like it was around. It just wasn't capable of taking form until nuclear power was introduced, which is its main feeding source, because it wouldn't have got much radiation off of well, off of anything else, basically, until they started testing nukes. So, yeah, good job. Anyway, it starts basically hunting down the humans for some reason. Not sure exactly what it's hoping to achieve there. I think it's just like going right itself, because it doesn't really seem like it would get much use out of what's the word? It wouldn't get much use out of killing it. It's searching for radioactive life sort of power, so it doesn't quite make sense. But it just goes with the flow, really. It goes and gets itself it gets itself up in the doctor's grill, basically, and Leela shoots it with a gun because it's Leela. Yeah. She's meantime she's been captured and like put in a little like kind of prison section where the doctor's talking to the general of the base, and she's being watched over by female Russian soldiers because of course they're Russians. They have females in their military way.
They sure do.
So Leela, it's implied heavily, beats the crap out of her and steals her clothes.
Which is funny because there's an internal monologue from that soldier who's like, I could beat the crap out of that girl. And the very next scene, you see Leela in her clothes. I'm like, that's fantastic.
Yeah, that's pretty great. So Leela shoots the monster. Also seems terrified and runs away. Bit interesting, but you know how it is. And then they basically get told to get out and leave. So the doctor totally does. Tries to leave the base. And there's also the fact that they're going to get blown up by a nuclear missile because they're going to set off a test. So they run away. There's a bunch of infighting going on with the fact that there's an alien creature running around. Doctor running away with Leela and one of the female guard as well for some reason. But basically, it's all solved by the Doctor creating a sort of a time bubble around them, so that when the nuke's about to go off, he has the time to sort stuff out before he gets blown up. Basically,
yeah.
That's pretty much it. I really like the radiation creature, because it's a pretty great idea. Honestly, I like it.
I like that at the end, the final I suppose stanza of it is the creature just gets up and dusts itself off and goes back into hiding.
Like the aftermath just goes back off, which is exactly what I expected. It's just there for the radiation.
It's not like violent in any way, but everybody's afraid of it because it's like creepy.
Yeah, then it's just there to absorb the radiation, so it doesn't care too much, and that's the story.
Yeah. Again, it's a short trip. This is actually shorter than last week's one, so it's finally short tripping. It's available as part of the short trip oddities range for like, I think it's like like nothing. I think it's like 50 cents.
Oh.
If you buy the main monthly range adventure Industrial Evolution, you get this one for free.
Nice.
And that's the last adventure the Sixth Doctor has with his companion Evelyn Smythe. And so, I mean, there's two great ways to pick it up. And I agree with Harry Scully. It's the monster's interesting. I like that it's not actually like the antagonist. And the Russian soldiers aren't really the antagonist either. They're just sort of like parts of the story. The story there isn't actually like... It feels more like the earlier short trips that we've done, where it's just like a day in the life. And this one's very much a day in the life. Yeah. So the Doctor's like, hey, Leela, I can't fly this thing very well for some reason, even though this is after the 10th anniversary. But let's go see the Tsar. Oh, I'm a couple of decades too late because the last Tsar got ultra killed. So, hey. Yeah, but it's a good time. It's really cheap, and you can get it for free if you get the Industrial Evolution. And with that, guys, we will catch you next week.
Yes, indeed.
All right. See you then.